So I've been pretty vocal about the negative aspects of AI and its impact on creativity in my first 2 videos on this channel. But in all honesty, I'm torn, which is actually why I named this channel The Torn Creative. On the one hand, I've always been a deeply creative person. Storytelling, filmmaking, voiceover, they've always been part of my DNA. Even when I wasn't working in a creative field professionally, I needed an outlet. So, years ago, I started a faceless YouTube channel as a way to tell stories and develop my voiceover narrative skills. To my surprise, it took off. It's now sitting at over 100,000 subscribers, but after years of grinding and eventual burnout, I found myself somewhat stuck. I wanted to create more, but I couldn't keep up with the demand for new scripts, visuals, and editing while juggling a full-time job. And that's when I started exploring creative AI tools. Even before ChatGPT was well known, there were some expensive AI writing tools that were available. I remember being fascinated by their potential, not as replacements, but as collaborators. Writing was the hardest and most time-consuming part of my process. I could record, narrate, and edit with passion, but developing fresh scripts fast enough, that was the bottleneck I was facing. AI became kind of a creative bridge. It allowed me to stay consistent, to keep my storytelling alive. But it wasn't a simple press a button and get a masterpiece situation. And I would argue that it still isn't. Anyone who uses these tools knows they need heavy editing and human influence. AI tools are only now getting to know and understand your voice, your rhythm, your tone, the things that make you unique. The human touch still matters. It's what makes a story yours. For new and emerging storytellers, YouTube is a great platform, but it can also be an unforgiving place. My channel was demonetized twice for narrating stories I had permission to use, but simply because they weren't deemed transformative enough from their fair usage standpoint. It was disheartening, especially when you consider narration and storytelling itself is, I believe, an art form. Voice acting, pacing, emotional timing, these things matter. But to algorithms, that's another story. AI tools gave me a way to adapt and survive. I started rewriting those same stories in third person, transforming them through my lens. And that process, human rewriting, AI scaffolding, became a collaboration that allowed me to stay creative even with the demands of a consistent YouTube release schedule. Then came the next issue, visuals. In the early days of YouTube faceless storytelling channels, around 2014 to 2018, they were huge. But now audiences, as well as YouTube, expect more. They want visuals, atmosphere, cinematics. AI video and image generation suddenly filled that gap for creators like me who didn't have the budget for film crews or elaborate sets. It wasn't about replacing the human element, it was about augmenting it. However, when I started layering AI-generated imagery into my projects, the response was mixed. Some viewers were excited by the new visuals. Others instantly unsubscribed, saying they'd never support a channel using AI content. And honestly, I do get it. But it's also missing the point. Now there's this growing misconception that using AI, your work isn't real, or that it's somehow less authentic. But for me, authenticity doesn't come from the tool, it comes from the intention. When someone uses AI to mass produce shallow, repetitive content just for clicks, that's not creativity, that's automation. But when an artist uses AI to fill in the gaps they can't afford to fill otherwise, to tell stories that might never exist without it, that's something different. When you work with it in that way, it's not stealing creativity, it's expanding it. At the private acting school where I teach, we've started experimenting with AI visuals to enhance student projects. Recently, we've been working on a web series that is not too dissimilar to old storytelling Monster of the Week style shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark? The students tell the stories, they learn screen presence, but instead of being held back by the need for a big budget for sets and effects, we use AI imagery to build the world around them. The students are still acting and still performing, But now they can see themselves inside cinematic worlds that would have otherwise been impossible to afford before. And that is what I believe is the right way to use AI, as a collaborator and not as a replacement. So yes, I am torn. I see the dangers of creative dilution, corporate misuse, job loss, but I also see there's a lot of potential. AI can make art more accessible. It can give underfunded creators, independent filmmakers, and small studios a fighting chance to compete with those who already have millions to spend. Rejecting AI outright ignores the reality that creativity has always evolved alongside technology. The camera didn't kill painting. The synthesizer didn't destroy music. And AI, hopefully, won't erase art. Not if we use it with intention, care, and humanity in mind. So if you've been skeptical of AI, I get it. But before you write off a creator using these tools, just take a moment and ask, are they using AI to completely replace creativity or to amplify it? I'm still figuring out where I stand, but I know this: the future of creativity won't belong to those who resist change. It will belong to those who shape it with heart. I'm James Deverell, the Torn Creative. Thank you for watching this video. Get involved in the conversation, comment below, subscribe for future updates, and I'll see you in the next video.